the 5-time 5A football state championship champion, and our leadership coach, Mr. Lauren Johnson.
Thank you, Joanne. First of all, good morning to you all. All right, this is not your typical deal here. When she said retreat, I could only think about being at church, sleeping, everybody hanging out to the wee hours, and then the pastor waking up and saying, okay, let's get up and let's talk a little bit. So I'm going to be somewhat like your pastor, and I'm going to tell you to find somebody across the room, lock eyes with them. Don't look at me. Look somewhere else. Got it? All right. Now, if I can get this to work, it's time to move, okay? So for a temporary period of time, pick up and go to another table with somebody else. Because when you come in, you get comfortable. I got to get you out of your being comfortable. Move now. Come on. I don't have my whistle, but I would blow it. You got to move. You got to move. You got to move. In your moving, have something to write with and something to write on. You are going to go back to your seat eventually. So be respectful of somebody else's stuff, but you got to move. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, good. Now, at the current time, you have activity number 1. Activity number 1 requires you and the person sitting next to you. You are on teams. The person sitting next to you. If you have to go 3, go 3. If you got to go 2, go 2. Come on, Barbara. My mom's name was Barbara. You got to move fast. You got to move fast, Barbara. All right, here we go. In a timely fashion, I'm going to give you a timetable, but I'm going to give you instructions first. Write down as many things as you can that these can be used for in every day. These are everyday items, but what else can you use them for other than what they are used for? Does that make sense to everybody? Everybody clear? Yeah. Now, it's a wooden hanger, but I want you to think wire hanger. Okay. Everybody got it? Okay. It's a wooden hanger, but I want you to think wire hanger. The wire hanger doesn't fit with the white background, so, right? Got to be a good teacher if you're going to talk to people. All right, here we go. So I'm going to give you a minute. You and your partner, in a minute. All right, in a minute. You're going to tell me how many things you come up with that these can be used for in everyday activities outside of their original use. The middle thing is fingernail polish. Now. Nah, that's fingernail polish, though, Eileen. You're correct. All right? You ready? Now. Here we go. Hey, you ready? You ready? First place is playing for $40. First place is playing for $40. Second place is playing for $10. Outside of first and second, I got nothing for you. So first place, you're going to split 40. Second place, you're going to split 10. You ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. You better not say them out loud either. You have 50 seconds. 40 seconds. 30 seconds. 20 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pins down. All right. Anybody have 12? I mean, I threw a number out there. I mean, I'm sorry. Anybody have 10? Here we go. Let's go with 10, Tamara. You ready? I'm going to read them out loud.
Thank you for saying my name right.
Oh, well, I'm a teacher. I see so many names every year. Believe me. Hey, and Linda's, she's banging on this.
So we have cleaning a drain,
Cleaning the drain, which one?
over the wire hanger,
Perfect.
breaking into a car.
Breaking into a car. Just let's say open the car. We're recording, Tamara. Here we go.
For like cleaning the inside of a dryer.
All right.
You can beat someone with it.
Discipline. Okay, let's go.
For the nail polish, you can use it to like do your pantyhose.
Okay.
To prevent a run, you can put it on buttons.
Okay.
To prevent the
Wow, I'm learning.
Yeah.
See?
For screws, the panty, you can use it to help them stay in.
Okay.
Nails, but I guess that's an everyday use.
All right.
For
So you
the-
got 9 then.
No.
Anybody else have 9? Oh. Oh, you said, oh, you had it.
11.
Okay, she had 11.
So for
There we go.
the post-it notes, you can use it for wall decor.
Yes. I wouldn't, but go ahead. Keep going. Go ahead. Keep going.
Use it for shade.
Shade.
Like a wall, like on your window.
Okay.
And then you can make other art, like art. You can make words out of it.
Okay. Wow. Anybody else have 10?
We have 10.
You have 10? Ooh. Here we go. Let's go.
You use the stickies for name tags, for bookmarks, for notes, for a to-do list to level a table.
Okay.
You can use the fingernail polish to write with or to fix paint.
Okay.
You use the wire hanger as a belt or to open a door. You can use, what's this one?
You can waddle up the paper and like throw it in a, like a trash can.
Okay. Play basketball with it. We did that every day in my house.
That middle thing you could use as a water bottle.
Nail polish removal?
No, the
The
Oh, that's-
jar. You could dump it out. And use
Okay. All right. I'm with it. We splitting here, ladies. They splitting hairs now. Splitting hairs now. She's going to be lunch. I thought it was lunch for 2. Now it's lunch for 1. Go. All right. We got it. Come on.
just the brush itself could be just used to brush a really small area that you could get into.
something really.
I got it. You have 10 too? Oh my gosh. It's like bingo at the hall. It's not going very far anymore. It's not going very far anymore.
Paper
Open a
airplane.
car door,
Yes.
like a snake,
Yes.
a clog or something.
Mm-hmm.
Pantyhose,
Yes.
hold items together,
Okay.
13.
the brush to paint,
Yes.
design a picture with sticky notes.
Okay.
Give directions with sticky notes.
Yes.
An arrow.
Okay.
Decorate a cubicle.
Okay.
Cover up a hole.
All right.
Draw a picture.
Anybody have any more than those?
White out for the nail and paint
White out for
for the nail polish.
Nail polish?
Nail polish,
Okay. If it was
okay.
white nail. So are you above 10?
that's 11.
All right.
What did we have?
How many do you have? Sound like 13.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Water 10, 11, 12, and I didn't say fold that up in a little paper airplane.
That's
He
13.
has 13. You have what?
11.
11. You have what? I'm sorry, ladies. Lunch on me. I mean, lunch on me. All right, here we go. Let's move. Now, everything we just talked about was transactional, right? I asked you to do something in return, you got something in return, correct? That's kind of how the world works on a regular basis. I don't work like that. All right? Everybody understand what I'm saying? Joanne talked about me talking to kids. You can move back to your seats while we're going through this if you feel like it. Joanne talked to me about talking to kids. So while you're moving, listen. When I'm talking to kids, I build relationships with them. I'm going to build relationships with you by being transparent and showing you some things today that sometimes otherwise you would not have known if you saw me just riding down the street in my automobile, okay? I'm all about being transformational, right? What does transformational mean? In my field and what I'm doing and how I function, it means multiple things, right? But one of the biggest things that people see all the time is, okay, you win. What is the winning result of? What is it a result of? What you win, preparation, right? You talk about all these different things, but I'm thinking long term. My number one goal is to have every young man that comes to my program be better than me. Now that's hard. That's hard for men. Ladies, that's not hard for you. That's hard for men, right? I'm not gonna walk to Morgan and say, Morgan, no matter what, I want you to be better than me. I want you to look better than me, dress better than me, have a nicer car than me, make more money than me, take my wife from me. Like, is gonna do that. We're just not. Every man in the room understands that, right? But I learned from my father, who is probably he is probably my greatest friend, okay? I learned from him a long time ago. He wanted me to be better than him. So now, in my transformation of young men, how can I get them to be better than me, right? If that's the case, then we're not digging in our pockets and paying for them with our tax dollars in negative ways. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? Like they can actually come back to their communities, like the camera guy back here who played for me, who now works for the county, right? Who's now recording his coach. Everybody understand that? He has been transformed just by his thought process and everything that he does. So now, here we go. What do you see? Not out at once. Somebody raise your hand. Somebody tell me what you see.
I see a duck.
See a duck. Anybody else?
I see a rabbit.
Rabbit. Did you see the rabbit?
I saw the rabbit.
You saw the rabbit, so you got to say two things. Coach, I see two things. Okay, I'm sorry, Mary. That's my fault. That was my stepmother's name. I'm going to talk about Mary and Barbara today a lot. Here we go. So we see ducks, we see rabbits, right? So when I show the kids this in school, their perception only allows them to see one thing at a time. And sometimes those left-brained individuals, they can see both. And those right individuals, they like, Coach, I can't see it. We got to turn the paper. We got to move it. We got to put them in different perspective. So again, transactional is one way. That's how society works. Transformational is another way. That's how I work. The perception is different. How you perceive things, how you want to see things, what you want to see, when you want to see it, it depends on who you are and what you are. Who you are and what you are, not what you do. What we do is totally different than who we are. Sometimes we come to work and we just focus on what we do. We leave the house every day. I leave the house every day. Again, I'm going to be transparent. I leave the house every day. I got an 18-year-old now that's at Virginia Tech. My wife wants to go see him on Saturday. I don't. But I'm going to see him, all right? So you know how that works, right? So I'm going to see him. I have a 15-year-old that got in the car this morning, went to the beach, even though we have practice at 4 o'clock. And I'm saying to myself, And then I have a 14-year-old who's going to be a 9th grader at Highland Springs. Her and her mother were arguing last night, and then she came downstairs and asked me, Daddy, can you buy this purse? Now, she never asked me to buy purses, but last night she asked me to buy a purse, which means it was pillow talk this morning. Pillow talk was, you didn't know we were arguing last night? I did. I didn't know what you were arguing about, but you still purchased that purse. Yes. I thought maybe you were giving me an opportunity to be a dad and buy something. No, we were arguing. You shouldn't have got the purse. Perception, right? My perception was like, hey, this is a great opportunity for me to be a dad, right? Spend a little money, out of my savings account. That was not the deal. I was wrong, right? I was totally wrong. So again, perception is everything in what we're doing. So now I need everybody to change their perspective. The county, we come in, we wake up in the morning, we go to work. When we go to work, we in the car, we coming to work. I got to deal with Mary. I got to deal with Barbara. I don't know if I want to deal with them. I got my own issues at the house. My wife, my husband, my partner was fussing, arguing. I change your perspective. Every morning I walk into that building, I got to change my perspective. I got to change who I am, what I do, what I think. Right? It is who I am. It is what I do. So it has happened for 15 years. But when we first moved to Richmond from Northern Virginia, everybody said, why? Why? Why the East End of Henrico? Why Highland Springs High School? My wife works in the government. She would go to work. Does your husband feel comfortable in the building that he's in? Stop. That wasn't my perspective. My perspective was transform. Transform. How can I transform? How can you transform? Hopefully your wheels are turning. How can I transform what I do in my building with the people that I work with every day? It's not only moving that creates new starting points. Sometimes all it takes is a subtle shift in perspective, an opening of the mind, an intentional pause and reset, or a new route to start to see new options and new possibilities. Kristen Armstrong. Anybody know who Kristen Armstrong is? I'm a sports advocate. She rides bikes at the Olympics. And if you ever seen this in the Summer Olympics, how they own the curve and I don't understand it still. I've been following now for 10 years. I still don't understand it. Don't hold that against me. I just kind of click on it. I like it, then I click off of it. I've never studied it. Everybody got it? So they're riding, and she's really good. So I'm following her, and I'm reading her, and I'm watching her, and I'm watching how she just goes through the race, and she just kind of mundanely just cruises down in the bottom level, and then her teammates fly by her, and she picks up. Am I saying this right?
Absolutely.
Okay. And she picks up, and they get in the line, and once they get in line, they move. And once they start moving, it's lights out for anybody. If you go back and look at her old races, she is precision. I mean, she is up to par, and I'm fascinated with anybody that's up to par and doing something at a high level. I am. I don't know where that comes from, but I love it, and I like it, and she's really, really good at it. So then I had to change my perspective, like, okay, now I got to go start looking at other things and other people and how they function and how they move. So anybody that's winning, I love. So who's my favorite team? I'm a 49ers fan football-wise. I'm a Celtics fan basketball-wise. They win. I hate the Cowboys. They win. They win, though. They win. All right, here we go. Transparency. I talked about that word. So when we talk about transparency, like I will talk about myself. Hopefully you will look at yourself in the mirror and you will start to think about these same things or some of the things that we're talking about. Right? How can you be transparent? So if there were younger people in the room, I don't want to have anybody tell their age, but their transparency is if I was being transparent in a young person's mind, it would be how often and how long I could stream myself sleeping, how often I could stream myself working. If I'm working out, can I stream myself? I'm of the age, transparency meant that teacher was in the front of the room and she put that big machine there and clicked that big light, clunk, and she put that light on and she started writing, right? So I'm gonna be transparent, but I need you to be transparent with yourself. Like as we go through this and we talk, like broaden your horizons, change your perspective. Everything that we're talking about is making yourself and your department better. How can you improve what you do? Everybody has issues at home. How can we come into work and how can we be better? One of my favorite books here. One of my favorite books. I got to reach in the bag here. One of my favorite books. John Gordon. How many John Gordon fans? No John Gordon fans? Whew. Whoa. Stop. Everybody, stop. I'm going to give it to somebody today. I don't know when, at what point. But the rest of you have to go buy this book. All right? You have to. Somebody's going to get it, but you have to buy it. All right? How do I give this away? I'm going to figure it out throughout the day. The Energy Bus. It's John Gordon's Energy Bus. It was 2014. 2014, I had been at Hollow Springs, 2023, I guess, 8 years? 5, 6 years? I don't know. I got there in 08. 6 years. We were there 6 years. Okay? And we moved here in 2008. If you go back in your mind and what happened in 2008? What was going on in America in 2008? Ooh, my man, you got it. All right, here we go. Just how I figure I'd get it away. All right. So Charles, you're right? So in 2008, my wife and I were living in our home in Northern Virginia, 3-level townhouse, starter home, $380,000, right? 2,000 square feet, okay? Everybody said when we got married in 2003, you gotta buy a home, gotta start a family, gotta do this. So in 05, we had a kid, in 05, we purchased a house. 06, 07, 08, things are moving really, really fast. We said we gotta move. We wanna move to Richmond, we gotta sell the house. The house is no longer $380,000. Take a wild guess, Charles, since you're helping me out already. How much do you think this house is now? No, I'm saying at that point in time, as we're talking. No, not that bad. It was bad though. It was $280,000. So we had lost $100,000 in this house. So when we got here, we moved from this townhouse with 2 boys, a husband and a wife, and we moved here to Richmond, and we lived off of Williamsburg Road, an apartment complex. We wanted to stay close to the school so we could kind of find our way around. And my wife was working in Chesterfield, so we wanted to be close to 895. So it was an apartment complex over there. So we moved. And then we were here probably 2 weeks. And she said, I don't feel good. I said, what's up? Like, what are you talking about you don't feel good? She said, I felt this way twice before. And I said, I said, you gotta be kidding me. It's nowhere in the world. I said, what do you mean you felt this way twice before? Like twice last week? She said, no. She said twice before. So she goes into the grocery store. We're on Hull Street. She goes in the grocery store. She gets a pregnancy test. She gets the pregnant test, comes back, she's positive. We're in the car, we're crying. I mean, just boo crying. So we called my dad. My dad said, are you guys crazy? Like, what are you talking about? She said, my dad said, man, people want children. And God's giving you another child, like, and you're crying about this. Like, why? Right? Perspective. You know what I mean? So 2009, this beautiful angel comes in, and we're living in this 2-bedroom apartment, and we realize that the second child has allergies, and he's allergic to peanuts. Affectionately, his nickname is Peanut, and his dad's favorite food is cashews and peanuts. So while he's growing up, I'm like slowly giving him cashews and peanuts. So she's asking me like, what are you trying to do? Right? Are you trying to slowly kill him? I'm like, no, that's not what I'm trying to do, but we find this out. So we know we got an older one that's in daycare. We got a second one that's in daycare. We got this house that's $100,000. We're paying rent in another apartment. Like we're up to our noses, not to our necks, to our noses on how we're gonna survive, how we're gonna live. So all this I'm saying to you right now kind of alludes to this, like hurdles. Like what are hurdles? Like you guys got hurt. Everybody has hurdles. I'm just telling you about hurdles that happened in 2008 to help us transition, but I still got to be focused when I walk into a building. She still got to function when she walks into a building. Like I can't even tell you what she does. She has super high clearance, and then she leaves and she comes in the room and says, I got to go. And I've got to say, okay. And that's it. That's all I know, right? When we were in Northern Virginia, she categorized maps for like the Iraqi war. So like what she does right now, I have no clue. Right? She just goes to work. And, you know, very fortunate here the last couple of years, she's been working remote, but she still has to get in the car and she has to drive. Like, where you going? I don't know. Thanks. I do. We do. Eileen, I can't tell you everything, Eileen, but yes. Hurdles. Success is determined not by whether or not you face obstacles, because we're all going to face them. We're all going to face them. Everybody that works for you, everybody that works with you is going to face your obstacle. Now listen, they're gonna face your obstacle because you're gonna, like you project that on people every single day. Your obstacle, your face, your body language, how you act, how you don't act, what you do, what you don't do. Then they have their own obstacles, right? So we have to overcome that on a regular basis, all right? But by your reaction to them, how do you react to them? And if you look at these obstacles as containing fence, they become your excuse for failure. If you look at them as a hurdle, each one strengthens you for the next. Ben Carson, Gifted Hands. I like reading. I like successful people. So I read everything. Whether I like you or agree with you politically or not, I read it. Right? Because there's something I'm going to gain from it. Let me give you a transparent. I have a football player that's at the University of South Carolina. Okay? Really, really good football player. I mean, he played for us at Alice Springs and went on to JMU, played there for a year. Then he transferred. To South Carolina, and he's doing extremely well there. He called me the other day and said, Coach, man, I just want to talk to you a little bit, see how you were doing, what's going on. I said, how are you doing? He just had a little minor surgery. Okay? He said, man, I'm great. I said, whew. I said, this is a different individual. He said, you always told us like how we react to things determines our outcome of those things. And he's right. Right? So your mind plays tricks with you. If you tell you, he started to tell me a story about a doctor who had 3 clients who told him that they all were going to die in a month or 3 months or whatever the timeline was, and that they had a terminal disease. Never told them what it was. They never went and got checked out. They just believed in their mind that they were ill, and in 3 months they passed away. Like our mind it controls us that way. It functions that way. So every single day I'm explaining to kids, like I need you to explain to them, because I'm trying to help you and get them before they get to you all and start working for you all. Like I'm trying to tell them how great they are. Even when they make mistakes, I tear them down and I build them up. Every time they do something wrong, okay, I wouldn't have done this and I wouldn't have done it this way, right? But there is a silver lining in the way that you did it. Like we learn something just a tad bit different. Because it's a hurdle. It's not an obstacle. It's not going to stop us from getting to our end result. Right? So somebody finish it. There are multiple ways to skin a cat. Yeah, right. So let's just skin it. I'm going to start with the toes. You might start with the ears. Hopefully we're not skinning any cats. But it's just a saying that we say, okay? Going back to transparency, right? We talk about hurdles. I got to give you a little background, right? Joanne, again, talked about these speeches before the game. Like, I'm with these kids on a regular basis, so I give them everything. The guy on the left, phenomenal. The guy in the middle is even better. And the lady on the right is phenomenal. All right? So that is my biological mother and my biological father. That was me at my happiest moment. My mother and father divorced when I was 5 years old. Okay? There are some stories about my mother, man, that that my dad has told me just recently that I don't know if I should share on camera just yet. I haven't received that approval, but my mother was a firecracker. She is very much like, or I should say my daughter is very much like my mother in a lot of ways. I'll tell you this, my dad met my mother on base in Tampa, Florida, and she was dismantling somebody's car. And he said, before the military police get to you, I'm gonna help you. And he got her off base. That's one story that I said, wow. But Miss Joanne knows my daughter, so she can kind of put two and two together and confirm she is every bit of my mother in terms of spunkiness. I don't want to control it. I want to corral it because she's going to be somebody's lawyer one day, and I need her to have that same mentality. Right? I'm just speaking it into existence. She wants nothing to do with law, but her dad keeps talking about it. I figure she argues, right, with her mother and wins. She won last night. I think she can win a lot of them. So at 5 years old, my mother and father got divorced. Okay? At 10 years old, my mother passed away. All right? So I went home Wednesday of this week, and I was in the house, and I could still remember, like, little things. Okay? When I turned 12 years old, 7 years after they got divorced, 2 years after my mother passed away, my father remarried. Oh, let me go back. The lady on the right, her name was Barbara. The lady in the middle, her name was Mary. With Mary came an older sister. I already had an older brother. They still allowed me to be the baby of the family. They still allowed me to function. They still allowed me to just do. They still allowed me to just be. And they just support, right? So I'm the young guy. And since I'm the young guy, I'm the new employee. I'm the person that doesn't have all the answers. I've not been around long. I always think I know, but I don't know, right? But they allow me to experience. They allow me to make mistakes. They allow me just to go. And my father said this to me on Wednesday. He said, don't look at it like that. He said, you just represent our family very, very well. He said, so in all that you do, continue to do it well. Like he's just building, still building. I'm 45, he's still building. He's 75, like he still builds. I mean, he is building every single day. He's never told me anything other than you are great, you're a leader. Remember who you are. Like this is how you function, like the self-positive talk. I very rarely had to give it to myself because he gave it to me. Like he sacrificed everything. So with a mother not being there, him playing mother and father, he was never very good at the mother part. He was never, ever, ever nice. Never, ever nice. All right. He was always thumb on top. This is what we're doing. This is how we function. This is what we got to do. But now I understand the result. So everybody that I come in contact with right now gets a lot of Lee Johnson. You guys are getting a lot of Lee Johnson right now. He has built me from the ground up, tore me down, built me back up, used the hanger a couple times. Right? He's done it all. Right? And I don't hold anything against him. Like he is probably my greatest friend. Not my best friend, but my greatest friend. Even to this day, do you need? I don't need anything. Stop. Do you need? Don't. He tells me all the time, I'm no good when I get back to South Florida. Right? What am I trying to say to you right now? At that point in time, he has now become a mentor / dad / advisor. He said, I don't tell you what to do. I just advise. And then you make a mistake. He said, when you make a mistake, though, we're still going to be in good shape because now you've learned, you have great experience, you've learned, and now we can build on it, we can move forward. Transformational, not transactional. Transformational, not transactional. Transform this young man, not transaction this young man. Transform the people you work with, not transaction them. Hey, their ideas may not be your ideas. And, you know, if we were in Eastern culture, you guys know what it would be. It's like the elders, and then everybody shut up. In Western civilization, we don't live like that. So we have to find multiple ways to communicate and contact with the young people that we're with, right? So I use this young man as an example. You guys don't know him. Miss Joanne knows him. The guy on the camera knows him. This is Chris Thaxton. We go back. We talk about hurdles, no hurdles. All right. 2016, Chris Daxton was a senior. His mother was our Booster Club president. She came to us at a meeting and she said, I have bladder cancer, stage 4 bladder cancer. So that was at the beginning of the season. She didn't make it through the entire season, right? But Chris Daxton didn't flinch. He did, but he didn't, right? He utilized his resources. He kept everybody in tune to what was going on. He talked, he communicated, we built him up, we praised him, we never tore him down, we helped. But he just was, like, he overcame every single hurdle, even though it was with some issues. Nobody's perfect, right? But he still had issues. So we get to the end of the season, and at the end of the season, we're playing in the state championship. His mother had passed away maybe 2 or 3 weeks earlier. That is her in the middle on the right-hand side with his stepfather and his sister, which is, I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about them as well. He caught the winning touchdown in 2016 to win the state championship with like 29 seconds left to go on the clock. So even in the midst of, like, he can still lock in, right? Even in the midst of your kids going crazy, you still lock in. Like, even in the midst of the person cutting you off on the way to work, you still lock in. Like, even in the midst of Mr. Vitokas, let's not say his name. All right, here we go. Mr. Vitokas saying something that he shouldn't say that affects the finance department, we still lock in. Right? Like, we still lock in. Like, he was 17 at the time, he still was able to lock in. So if a 17-year-old can do it, come on now. Everybody in the room should be able to do that. But do we change our perspective? Are we transactional or are we transformational? See, when we go to work for a check, but how can we make it transformational? Like, I was reading the Henrico County Finance Department's mission statement. Oh, is there one for the finance department? I wasn't reading that one. I couldn't find it. Like, make it known to people what it is. I've read the counties, right? It talks about residents, and it's cool. I like it. It's all right. But right, like we're detailed about what we're gonna do. Like, I'm transparent, right? If I step on your toes, just scream loud and then we'll move on. Got it? So I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just telling you what it is. Like, if we're gonna make a change, if we're gonna be transformational, moving into the 22nd and 23rd century, if we're ever here on this earth during that period of time, like, how do we do it? Everything changes daily. Everything changes daily. What I liked in school when I was 15 years old is not what it is right now at 45 years old. That's 30 years ago. And it's not changing every 30 years now. It's changing every year. Yesterday, we were in training and they talked to us about this IG, right? That you just type in what you want to say and how you want your letter to work. And then what happens? Like, it creates the letter. So my question, just me asking, like, what are teachers needed for now? Like, what am I needed for? Man, I wish my computer was up. I typed in create a syllabus with Mr. Lauren Johnson as the teacher, his contact number 703, put the information, the parameters in. My syllabus was done in 30 seconds. Years past, it would take me at least an hour. I'm trying to figure out the right wording, what to say, how to position it, like how to format it the right way. Everything was done. So now we got people coming into work who's never written a paper before. Just call it what it is. Right? And then every day technology gets better and better and better. All I think about is WALL-E, the movie. How many of y'all seen that kid's movie, WALL-E? That's all I can think about. Right? We all gonna be sitting on these chairs. The chair's gonna take us around. We go to the pool, we get spray tans, and we hang out, and the food comes to us, and I think about iRobot. Like, that was 10 years ago, 15 years ago. So now these are the individuals that we're working with. So my son's at Virginia Tech. He graduated from Virginia Tech in the same program as this young man. You see he's decorated. They both graduated with their associate's degree in business, right? So we have this grand plan, 2-3 years ago when he's in this program. We're gonna do business, and we're gonna do commercial property real estate. Big commissions, right? Sounds good. He doesn't like math, so we can't do finance, right? We talked about that. Sales is not his thing, even though he has a great smile. He looks 30 times better than his dad because he's got a little bit of his mom in him too, right? Slim guy all over the place. I think he's handsome, okay? He don't want to do sales because he don't want to go door to door. He don't want to go business to business, whatever. He gave me all his excuses. So he's decided on commercial property real estate. He was on Virginia Tech's campus for 3 weeks, and he said, I think I'm I'm gonna continue to do my business. I'm gonna still can do the commercial property real estate. He said, but I think I wanna do AI and machine learning. I said, go ahead, buddy. I couldn't even tell him not to. I mean, that's what we are, right? And I said, I just asked him, being a dad, Morgan, I asked him, I said, how many papers did you write with AI when you were in high school? He said, do we have to talk about that? I said, you gotta be kidding me, man. He said, what else? He said, I know the material, like I can explain it to you. He said, but when I was summarizing books, and it was football practice, and mom asked me to wash dishes, and it was cleaning up, and it was doing this, and it was doing that, and it was doing. He said I had to summarize sometimes, and that was the easiest way to do it. So nobody's reading a book like Charles. Nobody's reading a book. Nobody's reading it anymore, right? So that's where I am, okay? Chris Daxon's, we talking about hurdles. Chris Daxon's stepfather died like a year after he was in school. He graduated in 2 years from UVA Wise. So, you talk about hurdles, like there are no hurdles. All right, here are my coaching points midway through this thing. I don't know how much time I don't have much time left. But coaching points, never judge a book by its cover. Got it? We're gonna do another activity in a second. Never judge a book by its cover. You know that, we've heard it. Everybody tells you that, but it was all about what we were reading when we were younger. It was never about the people that we worked with, right? So now, I don't have any tattoos on my body, right? But some of the smartest people I know have 500 tattoos on their body now. Like that's the workforce that we live in. Or the piercings in the nose, or the piercings in the lip, or the hair is pink, or the hair is brown, or the hair is blonde, or the hair is... Like I listened to somebody say, Chick-fil-A fired a young girl in Georgia a couple weeks ago because her hair wasn't her natural color in her braids. That doesn't affect like how she says, thank you, have a nice day, because they all say that. And they do it very, very well, right? But now we are changing. Like everything we're doing is evolutionized. I'm gonna be honest, again, transparency. 20 years ago when I first got into teaching, I did not know how to work with the non-binary student. I wouldn't have done a very good job at it. Every day of my life right now, I see them and I have to change. And I have to prepare myself. Like being at the high school with 2,000 kids at Highland Springs High School, you see it all every day. And those kids have no issues. You know who has the issues? The adults. Like the person that's in charge has the issues. Oh my God, I got this student in my class. Like we gotta get out of that. If we're gonna be transformational, gotta get out of it. It's not my way of life, but it's their way of life, and it's something that we gotta understand, and it's something that we gotta work with, whether we like it or not, if we wanna get paid. Now, if you don't wanna get paid, I mean, you say whatever you wanna do, whatever you wanna do, right? But everybody is working for that. Goals aren't met for two reasons. Like you got goals, like why are they not met? Why are the goals not met? They're not met for two reasons. They're not written down or you just give up. Every year, every week, every day, we do goals at Highland Springs in the football program. Every single day. They may just be simple things. We're not gonna let the opponent score 13 points, right? That's a weekly goal. I mean, last year, 7 opponents didn't score any points. It's gonna be a little tougher this year. Like we gotta go back to South Florida Wednesday to play a game against my high school. I think they were pretty good. Definitely when I played, they were pretty good. I know they're gonna be good this time around. Never ask for an opportunity, all right, where and when you can be goal-oriented. Like, these are things that we have to translate to young people coming into the business, coming into the job. Like, never ask for an opportunity where and when you can be goal-oriented. I remember something that relates to that for me personally. When I was in NFL Europe playing football in 2001, the Chicago Bears called me and asked me for a job. Did I want the job? They didn't ask me for a job. They called and asked, do I want a job working as a strength conditioning assistant for $19,000? I said no. I couldn't see. I didn't have goals. I wasn't goal-oriented. I didn't know that they were hiring coaches to be head coaches in the NFL at 32 years old at the time, right? Like nobody could foresee that. You know what I mean? But I think my personality would have given me that opportunity, right? But I was asking for the opportunity to continue playing not being goal oriented. Like, what do you want to do 25 years from now? Like, nobody said that to me. I didn't say it to myself. I didn't understand that. So sometimes you got to reel the young people in and say, okay, where do you want to be? Let's work to where you want to be. Not just ask for an opportunity to get a higher paying job. Because the higher paying job may not help them in their goal. And then they come back and they say, Jennifer didn't help me. She wasn't somebody that I can get a reference from. She was nobody that was transformational in my life. It was just a transaction. I went to work for Jennifer and that was it. We're done. Then they move on. You never see them again. Then you might think you see them walking out, or walking through Shore Pump. I think I know that person. But it's better when they come up to Jennifer and say, hey, Jennifer, like, thank you for what you did. Thank you for what we talked about. Thank you for helping me in this situation, right? Got to be goal-oriented. Sit them down. What are your goals? All right, we giving you the job. What do you want to do with the job? Excuse me. The measure of who we are is what we do with what we have. What are you giving in your department? Like, man, I don't have enough time. Like, time's running out. I have a list of things on my phone. That people have told me no about, right? The list of things. It's probably, 70, 80 things that I wanted to do in the school system that they've told me no about. But I've always said this, if I could start my own school or run my own football team, these are the things that I would do. I got to tell you how many it is. Running a school or a team at the next level. Like, the list goes on and on and on. These are all things that people told me no, I couldn't do. The list goes on and on and on. We don't have enough funds. We don't have the money. We can't do this. We can't do that. Don't think about that. That's too much. Like, I've heard it all, right? But again, what am I working with? This is what I'm working with. These are the kids that I'm working with. Let me be transformational. Let me not worry about the transactions at this point in time. Let me just be transformational. These are the young people that have. These are the young people that don't have. It doesn't matter what they have, what they don't have. Let me just be transformational, right? The measure of who we are is what we do with what we got. Like, the phenomenal people that write these books on finance that started with nothing. Now they got multi-million-dollar companies. Like, I'm really a Steve Jobs fan. How they started in the garage, and then, like, everybody who has an Android, don't raise your hand. Don't tell on yourself, all right? Activity number 2, y'all ready? I need 3 volunteers. You ready? Because I'm running out of time. We got to move fast. Nobody? 3 volunteers. There you go. Come on, let's go. You ready? Let's go. It's going to be fun. 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 2, come on. There you go. I called your name, so you got to come. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. That's yours. That's yours.
Okay.
That's yours. Feel it, touch it. Take it out the bag if you choose. That's your choice to take it out the bag. You don't have to. Oh, you left yours in the, that's fine. Touch it. You guys ready? Now we got to move fast. You got it? Can you share 3 thoughts about what you have in your hand, Jennifer? Your 3 thoughts.
I don't want it.
You don't want it, okay.
Because I don't like cleaning.
All right, perfect.
It's soft though.
It's soft.
And I'm sure it'll do a good job because it's got a hard side and a soft side.
There you go. There you go, Katrina.
Mine's wet.
Wet.
It's with water and it's not moldy.
It's not moldy.
So you just put it in.
All right, here we go. So you think, so you hope.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Elaine, yours.
Seasoned.
It's seasoned.
It's been used.
It's been used.
It's tough.
It's tough.
And it has color.
Okay, so which one are you in the room? Think about it. You don't have to say it out loud. Which one are you? You got new employees, fresh in the bag. Fresh in the bag, 2 different exteriors, right? Sometimes tough on the outside, soft on the other side, but you don't know until you what? Until you open it. You don't know who they are until you get to experience who they are. And sometimes, like, the lunch in doesn't help you. Right? Sometimes we walk into a room where we get comfortable with our friends and we sit at the same table. We don't sit with the new people. Right? But we don't know who they are until we open the bag. Right? And then in the middle, Katrina, she said hers is wet. We can go all types of places with that. We're all adults. We don't want to, though. All right, here we go. But hers is wet. It has moisture. So are you the person in the middle that has soaked up some of the material? right? Because you can soak up what you need and wring out what you don't need, right? There's a little bit of water in there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is water. It's not any cleaning material. So you're good, Katrina.